Very good. We are back. Trending SCV with Sonia Schmidt and... Okay, Joe is swooning again. We're going to have to take out some of this Frank Sinatra stuff because...
No. It gets me all pumped up.
Joe's eyes are rolling back in his head. It's not good over here, folks. We're at 1220 AM, 98.1 FM, or go to hometownstation.com and listen live there.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it, especially if you're sitting around the house or if you're in the car, tune us in.
Or
I'll get the app.
Get the app, then you don't have to sit around. You can just put us in your back pocket, go take us wherever you go. We'll stalk you good.
Yeah. Head over to Honu Coffee and put your earpieces in and listen up. All right, listen, I got some real activity on the freeway. Well, bad activity nonetheless, okay? Well, a lot of slowing on the southbound 14 freeway, and it is from Via Princessa down to Golden Valley. I don't know if it's construction work or what, but they've got on the southbound side, they've got the right lane blocked in two separate locations. They've also got the left lane blocked. I don't know if they're doing emergency repairs or what, but this will be raising some havoc on the southbound 14 because these things just popped up on my screen. Although when you get past that, you get to Golden Valley, just past Golden Valley, you're down to about 20, 25 miles an hour all the way down into the New Hall Pass. Just before the New Hall Pass, it's very slow and go through there. When you get down to the 210 freeway, you got I got red lights every place. So, yeah, I mean, getting onto the 210 is very slow. You're going to be on and off your brakes. And the 5 freeway is slow all the way down to Krispy Kremes in Burbank.
Would you stop using?
Well, I think it's because as soon as they build the one up here, you cut that traffic in half. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where everybody's going this morning. They're going to Krispy Kremes in Burbank. God, so.
Every time you mention it, I want to leave.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, but I'm not going to leave until I do the weather. It's a high of 66 today, a low of 49. No rain, partly cloudy. No rain.
No rain.
No rain for a while. I know we just had that one day of rain Friday. Tomorrow's high of 71, just like it is every Friday. I don't know how they manage that. And then Saturday as well, 71. And it cools
I
down
told you they're tricking us. They just keep saying the same stuff over and over again.
But I'm glad the weather's good because that would be a good time to call a roofing guy, wouldn't it?
But not any roofing guy. Let's
talk about just any roofing guy.
Chris Dick is with us here in studio, and Chris, always a pleasure to have you with us. And you're getting that break, dude. You're getting the break where people need to be checking stuff out now and looking at the stains in the roof now, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And start calling, making your appointments now. I would love to have the ability to take care of all my clients as speedily as they need to, but we have limited. So, like I said, our call volume has been about triple what it is normal for the last 4 weeks. So, but the beauty of California is we're just about the end of our rainy season, and so now we'll have 9 months to get prepared for next year, right?
Right, and don't wait till next year, folks.
So I'm going to tell you something. I've been doing this 37 years, and I complain about it every year, but it'll never change because people are human nature, right? No, I'm the same way, but right after it stops raining, the second quarter is always our worst quarter.
Sure.
It's the funniest thing. Why? You don't want to know why?
Why?
The roof's not leaking.
Well,
there's no rain.
Exactly.
The roof's not leaking.
Well, it's like the dentist thing. You don't think about it until it hurts, right?
Exactly.
So
you take Tylenol, you don't need to go to the dentist anymore.
But you've got one of the things that you talked about a while back, and I think people don't realize is be looking at the ceiling in the different rooms because it's like I had a room in the house we didn't go to for months, and all of a sudden you look up and you go, where's that brown stuff coming from?
Yeah,
right?
100%. You're right. It's a good time to go around the house now. Go around outside on your eaves, check to see if there's any dry rot happening, any brown stains. You're for sure right. There's rooms that we don't go into in our house, right?
Yeah.
A couple kids that have graduated and left, gone to college, and don't go into their room.
Right.
It was scary when they were here.
It's even more scary when they're not there. And if you were to do a visual for the homeowner, right? And they're walking around the house. Since you've been coming here, I'm driving up my road now, and I'm looking at the roofs, and I'm looking at the houses.
That's funny.
And see what they're doing. It's hilarious. And I noticed, especially what I told you. I thought they were clay roofs, and they weren't. They're cement tiles, right? But I noticed that some of those cement tiles they're not bright red, but they've got a good color to them, and some of them look like they're just so worn out.
Yeah.
Do they really wear out? Do they have to be?
No, it depends on what generation. The original generation tiles, they actually what they called slurry coat them, which really is painting them.
Oh.
So that stuff will burn off.
Okay.
And then there's another thing that a lot of moss or algae will grow on them, so that may
Really?
diminish the color.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect the waterproofing element.
Right.
Does it make it look not very good? 100%.
Can you exchange out some tiles? You
Yeah.
don't have to get the whole.
Oh, that must be a nightmare, though.
I know.
Well, and the funny thing is a lot of people and roofs are expensive, irregardless. So some people they can't do it, but we do a lot of what they call resets. So we'll pick up the tile, perfectly good tile, put new tar paper, new sheet metal underneath, reinstall the tile. Now your roof's good for 25, 30 years.
Wow.
Okay. Now your house doesn't look very much different when you drive up at the end of the day, right? So there are a lot of people that were throwing the tile away and putting new tile on. It's really at that point not very expensive, and depending on your house, it usually is a huge percentage of the surface. If you look at your house vertically, your roof usually your ground to eave is 1 story, and then your roof's about 50%. So sometimes it can really make it look a big difference.
Wow.
And you get a lot of again, back to those clayish type of tiles, or cement tiles or what have you. You see the cement too. That's I think it's cement, mortar, whatever. That's between the tiles or in the creases. And should that be looked at from time to time? Does that have to be I don't know the term, regrouted or whatever?
Yeah, well, the stuff that's really important is the stuff where your peaks and the peaks of the roof meet, and where the roof tiles terminate. That mortar there is meant as a weather block to keep this water from getting underneath and degrading your underlayments quicker than normal.
What kind of things will people tell you to do the heavy sale? That's one thing we really love about you is you're all about educating. You're not about the heavy sale. What things can people look out for when they call another roofing company?
Oh, you mean like
scare tactics?
This is scare tactics.
Yeah. I love those.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of most guys will pick up on the same thing. If they do a good inspection, they'll find problems with your roof, right? And so it's just about not really getting all the information and giving only one choice. This is the thing. Go with that. That's when I would get a little worried. Because our guys, when they go on a roof, they'll probably find the same defects in that roof that another roofer is going to. And we're going to talk to you about that. That's a part.
So let's we're going to go to break. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to Trending SCV here on KHTS. More with Chris Dick and August Roofing when we come back.
He told me to hurry up and so we can get back to our interview, but we got Frank Sinatra, so we're not able to move past this, folks. You're listening to Trending SCV with Sonia Schmidt
and Joe Messina.
We're here at 1220 AM 98.1 FM, or go to hometownstation.com. Listen live there.
Well, we've got Chris Dick on. He's in studio with us today, President and CEO of August Roofing. And Chris, it's always a pleasure to have you. Truly, to have you with us. I'm learning a lot about roofs and maintenance that I really, honestly didn't know before. And we were talking during the break. I said to you how I saw some debris on the ground, didn't know really what it was, and finally decided to look up. And this is before I knew you. And we had the corner tile had actually fallen off the roof, but you wouldn't have noticed it. I would have never noticed it until the next rain, and there was water pouring down the corner. So, I mean, that's why I asked you earlier, what are some of the things you can kind of look for and go, well, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be like that, know? Because they got the holes in the side there, but there's no screws or nails in them, and I'm told not all of them have screws or nails in them.
The side ones should all have nails in them, actually.
Oops.
They should be nailed into the fascia board, So what'll happen, though, over time is, that 20, 30 years, that nail will get loose, little bit of rust on it, and it'll fall out. There's gravity pulling down on that 10-pound tile.
Not to mention all the little earthquakes that we have.
That's
little rumbles.
right.
Yeah.
I've forgotten about that. I did want to ask you, I know, roofing is not one of those things maybe that you can point at, the problem and, share with your client what the deal is, but you said not true. You can show what's going on up there.
So we have a service that we put all our pictures in the cloud. So when we come and do our initial inspection, our guy will go up on the roof or in the attic, and he will take pictures of anything that he finds. He will sit down with you and then go through those pictures to explain with you what's happening. And then from there, we can create a scope of work of how to correct those problems. And then we also give you a link. So while we're doing the project, you can actually look at the pictures the guys are taking during the day. We take an end of the day picture that kind of shows you what the guys have done that day. And so you can kind of, if you like watching the Eagle Cam, you now can watch your roofing cam.
Wow.
My wife watches the Eagle Cam all the time.
What's the eagle? Really live eagles?
Yeah.
You really see their live eagles giving birth and hatching eggs and doing all kinds of stuff.
Same with
I'd
my
rather
wife,
watch roofers.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Even though we have the service, not a lot of people do it. It's not very exciting.
Okay.
What it is great for is if there is any big issue comes up on the roof, I can show you. I mean, you can literally, the guys can find it. We can call you at work. You can get on your computer and we can show you.
Yeah.
In the old days when I started, you really had to trust the guy doing the work, and
I ain't getting up there.
That was a problem in some areas.
Now, I've been announcing about the Home and Garden Show that's coming up on the 27th and 28th that KHTS is sponsoring over at Central Park. Will you be a part of that? Will you be a vendor for that?
Yes, we will be, like we were last year. We love it down there.
Very good.
I was disappointed to hear that they're not giving away any samples like
of roofing,
pallets of roofing, and solar panels.
I
and
could see you
stuff
walking
like that.
around with that in your little bag. Oh my goodness!
But you will probably have on display the different roof tile styles and types. And 2 weeks ago, when you were on, somebody sent me a text and asked me, and again, we see all, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true, right? So anyway, these interlocking solar panels that they're working on that almost look like regular shingles.
Yeah,
is that a reality, or is that just?
Oh no, they've been around for a long time.
Really,
I've done them quite a while ago. Again, with solar, most of it's ROI, return on investment. Those panels have very small output. You need a lot of them. Installation, even though you would think that it's less expensive, is costly. So it's normally for people that have a big aesthetic issue. Let's say they need to put it on front of their house, right? And they don't want to have the big panels. So that's, there's a, something for everybody in all different products. So that would be where that product would be most, it's where its value would be derived, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's not going to be from its incredible output or anything like that. So yes, they do exist. We've done a number of them, as long as 20 years ago. So
really,
yeah.
I have a dumb question.
We don't do dumb here.
If I want my house solarized and my pool, which is quite a bit away from my house, also to run on solar power. Do you have to create something for the pool, or can you pull the power from the house solar to the pool?
Well, I guess because pool solar a lot of times is a domestic hot water. It's to heat your water using the sun. So that's a completely different type of solar system. We don't even do that.
Oh, okay.
So yes, you would need.
I told you it was dumb.
You would need to find a section to put those type of panels on, and then you actually have to plumb from there to your equipment that circulates your water through.
Okay, gotcha.
Chris, battery storage. You're seeing a lot more advertising. Battery storage, power goes out, solar panels. And a matter of fact, that you were talking about this a few weeks ago, where you could use the battery power during the high price times for regular power. Yep. Has the cost of the batteries installation, have you come down, or is it still?
Not really. There are some, because it's anytime the market drives a high demand,
Right.
then that's what I love about human beings. We're super creative. Give us a problem, we'll solve it. So there are a lot of new solutions that are coming on that are happening right now that are going to start driving it down, but nothing huge right now.
Right.
Again, when you sit here and you're coming in, frankly, and I'm saying, okay, how many questions can we ask about roofing? And I started looking and going, there's 100
Quite
of
a
them.
few,
And
right.
there's things that people don't know. They're afraid to ask, or they don't know what to look for.
Right.
I'm not leaking. I don't have to worry about anything. Yeah, okay, but look up and see if that, to
Yeah.
your point, if the nail's 4 inches out on your corner piece, maybe it's time to call someone to take a look and start fixing some of this stuff. All right, I do have a probably personal preference question. Why the heck don't they use screws as opposed to nails? I just have to ask because the screws are less likely to come out in a short period of time. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, I to tell you the truth, I can't
Industry
tell you
standard?
why
Yeah.
the testing. All materials have to go through a thing called ICBO,
Right.
which is in International Conference of Building Officials, and that's what it's been tested for.
Okay.
There are a couple tile type materials that I do actually require screws.
Good.
But
I just
One of those
curious
things you
more, I
have
think.
to accept, Joe. You just
No,
have to,
I accept nothing.
you accept nothing.
All right, Chris, how do people get a hold of you? And are you now like 5 months out in appointments because everybody's going to be
I didn't want
calling?
to ask him that question.
Yeah.
No, actually, we're doing pretty good on our appointments. We know that we have to get to the people, so maybe next week for at least to get your initial consultation.
Okay.
That's super important. Now we are booking installations May, June right now because
Right.
people are signing.
Wow.
Oh, so call people.
Well, no, we haven't had rains like this in a long time, so
Yeah.
people are seeing things they never saw before,
Yeah.
and now's the time to do it. Apparently, Chris, always a pleasure, and I mean that sincerely. I'm glad you came in again today.
All right. Take
All
care.
right.
You guys have a good day.
Yeah, you're listening to Trending SUV here on KHTS, AM 1220 and FM 98.1.